Next one, etiquette and best practices. One of the things, like everything else in our professional world, when we make a commitment to be a guest on a podcast, we're taking time out of our schedule and we're taking time out of the host's schedule. These are important meetings. These are things we should not mess up. If something happens and your schedule changes, be respectful, communicate as quickly and as far in advance as humanly possible. Oftentimes a podcast host, right? They are recording episodes that they need to air. And if they are doing this closer to real time and they're recording and no-show, that messes up their schedule and it gives them a block in their release that can be really painful. Some of these episodes are streamed live. And so if you no-show, they have been advertising and building up an audience and a following to participate in that live streaming, and you're leaving them hanging. That is so not cool. I'm really OCD about how I schedule out my podcasts, and I record them as if they're live, but I really always have about 2 months of content in the queue so that if somebody does no-show on me, it's not all that impactful, but it's still really annoying. So be on time, be ready, have your lights on, your lighting clear, make sure that your microphone is well situated, that your framing is the best that it can be, and be ready to engage in that conversation. Be present with your host. Have water with you. I don't have one sitting next to me right now while I'm recording, but it's good to make sure that you've hydrated before the conversation starts so that you're not through the interview because you've got a dry throat. When I'm recording audio podcasts, I freely sip on a glass of water or tea throughout that experience. I try to suggest that you don't drink something carbonated. It's amazing what the microphones actually do pick up, and you don't want to have that unwanted ambient noise. When I am a guest on a video podcast, I try not to drink a beverage while we're recording the video. I try to be very present with my host. But again, if you have a dry throat and you need to take a sip of something, by all means, go for it. If you make a mistake or you fumble, not the end of the world. Just pick up and keep moving on. I think you've seen me do that a handful of times in these videos because I am not a professional broadcaster. Nobody expects their podcast guests to be professionals, and we're human. And sometimes we stumble and I mispronounce things and, and stumble like I just did there for no particular reason. Just keep going. It's human. It's okay. When you are talking, and we talked earlier about sharing data and statistics, and if you have those pieces that you want to sprinkle into what you're sharing, make sure that you are giving and attributing where they came from. It's important to make sure that you give credit to others if you are leveraging their ideas. Most importantly, have fun, make jokes. If something happens, laugh. It's all wonderful and it's all very human. And that's really what resonates most to an audience. Because again, we aren't media professionals and we aren't here to be perfect. We're here to be us. After the recording, it's important to keep track of and understand when that podcast is going to go live, so that as that host and whatever team they may use to amplify and get that out to their presence on all of the social platforms, that you're amplifying their message and sharing out your content to your audience. This is giving you, right, they're giving you access to their audience and their following, and to reciprocate, you are sharing and amplifying their podcast out to yours. So it's really important to do that. And that is how you also start to get the best content and for yourself to leverage over time. That's kind of it. If you have any questions, feel free to ask them here in the WhatsApp chat. That's always fair game. And if you want to have a one-on-one conversation with me about something, I'm here to help. But I really just want everybody to show up as their best self when they're guesting on podcasts, because that is free media that we can reuse and elevate and to position ourselves and our businesses. Thanks so much. I hope I helped.